right, y'all, we in here. What's going on? What's going on, man? This is your man Frank coming to y'all live and direct with another edition of View from the Man Cave. So welcome to View from the Man Cave, a place for honest, intellectual, and informative dialogue and discourse about all things related to masculinity and manhood, provision and protection, responsibility and respect. So let's talk about it. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. What's going on, y'all? Y'all know who it is. Y'all know what it is. I had to switch it up for y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? I just want to let cats know that that Frank can cam up, man, from time to time. I ain't got to hide nothing. There ain't nothing to hide. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to switch it up for y'all a little bit today. You know what I mean? We're going to get it popping. And we have a very interesting topic. You know what I mean? We're on Man Cave Mail. We're on Man Cave Mail number 6. So, before we get there, though, I'm gonna address a couple things, and then I'm going to introduce my panel, my distinguished panel, and then we're going to get right into the topic tonight. So the first thing that I want to talk about is this infamous video that everybody's been talking about, with the brother Kevin Samuels, man. You know what I mean? I don't know if you haven't seen it, you've been under a rock somewhere, you know what I mean? But so this video came out about a week or so ago. I don't even think it's been a week, but he had a young lady on there, and she was on the show, and she was talking about what her preferences are as it relates to a man and dating and things like that. I see Kid Gravity, Khalid, 1112 Queen, Janelle, Miss Rivers, of course. I think who else we got up in here? C Boog is on the way, so he's gonna be here ASAP. Matter of fact, my man Boog just pulled up. All right, so we all here now. But yeah, so I'm gonna so the bro Kevin Samuels did this video, right? And he had a young lady on there, and she was talking about her preferences and things like that, and what she's looking for, you know what I mean, in a relationship, with a guy. She was looking for, a 6-figure earner and all of that. And so I saw how it went. I got the clip. I mean, if you haven't seen it, I don't know where you've been at. You know what I mean? It was all over social media, all over Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of that. It was on TMZ, I believe. They passed it around, so it got upwards to 5 or 6 million views. You know what I mean? And so a couple, so every group that I'm in on Facebook, private group, public group, everybody was passing it around, talking about it. Everybody was putting it on their pages. And it was just getting a lot of traction, a lot of conversations, from everybody. So a few of my homies actually slid it to me, like my brother, my physical brother, who just had a birthday December 3rd. Shout out to my brother Sean. I love you. Happy birthday. And my cousin Chaz, too. Chaz's birthday was December 4th. Happy birthday. I love you. And so my brother sent it to me, and we rapped on it. And one of my homies sent it to me. And we rapped on it. So we were talking about it, I gave my opinion. He asked me my opinion on it. And so he was like, yo, and I'm gonna just tell y'all this because y'all fam, straight up. But he was like, he said, yo, what's crazy about this whole situation? I was like, nah, like, what's up with it? So he was like, yo, I know Shorty. Like, I know her. Like my girl, and her are related. Like that's my fam. And so I was like, well, yo, what do you think? What do you think about her coming on the show? You know what I'm saying? Like, be just interviewing her, kind of getting her side of the situation, what she think about it, about how it played out, all of that. And my man was like, bet. So he slid it over. I told him, I said, look, give her my numerics, you know what I mean? And then, just have her call me. So he did it. She called me, and I rapped to the young lady who was on the show, and we talked. And I just told her, I was like, yo, whenever you're ready to come on, you know what I mean? If you want to come on, if you feel comfortable doing that, you come on the show, and I just interview you and let you talk about, what happened and all of that. And so the young lady was like, cool, let me think about it. You know what I mean? And she hit me back a few days later and was just like, yo, she don't know if she's ready yet. You know what I mean? She's kind of hurt by the whole situation. You know what I mean? She didn't like how people were playing her, disrespecting her, stuff like that. So I just wanted to say, live on the air, you know what I mean, that I'm going to say the same thing to y'all that I told her. I was like, yo, if you ready, if you want to do it, if you don't want to do it, it's all good. I just wanted you to come on, and have an opportunity to speak, you know what I mean, you know, on your behalf, to talk about, you know, your side of things, about how it went, how you felt, you know what I mean? Did you agree with what he said, all the backlash you've been getting, all of that? So I just wanted to get a sister a platform to be able to speak. You know what I mean? No shade, no disrespect, no nothing. You know what I mean? I was even going, you know, slide her over my question, so she wouldn't even be caught off guard. You know what I'm saying? But she was just like, yo, at this time, you know, she's still kind of hurt by the situation and all of that. And so she wasn't really ready to do that yet. So I just told her, yo, if you ready, when you ready, you know what I mean, or whatever, or if you feel more comfortable doing it on another platform, you know, a bigger platform, or with a female content creator, whatever, it's all good. You know what I mean? I just wanted you to know that if you wanted to have the opportunity to speak about what happened, and you know what I mean, all of that, you know, I could give you the platform for it if you wanted to. So like I said, I talked to her a few times, sweet sister, you know what I mean, had her head on right, you know what I mean, running her business and all of that. So that is what it is. So another thing that I wanted to talk about real quick was, I saw this picture, man. I think it's from this brother who's a pastor. I'm not sure where he's a pastor at. Maybe I want to say Chicago, but he took a picture with his son, like his teenage son. Excuse me, and his son was kind of laying on him, whatever. You know, he was asleep, and so this brother got a lot of flack, a lot of negative energy about, you know, him and his son. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, people, I guess he put it on social media. A lot of people were talking about it and kind of giving some negative energy out there. Matter of fact, let me pull it up for y'all real quick. It's this joint right here, this picture right here, this brother. And so, you know what I mean? So I put a post up today just talking about it, you know, with a picture of my son, just to let people know that, man, look, you know, we're going to hold our sons out here, man. You know, we're going to comfort our sons, whether they're newborns, you know, toddlers or teenagers, man. You know what I mean? They need to know that daddy love them. They need to know that daddy got them. You know what I mean? And I think it's crazy how, you know, in this world, how, you know, we see a lot of females talking about how a lot of black men, we don't express ourselves and we don't open up, and, you know, we don't allow ourselves to be vulnerable and stuff like that. And I just feel like that's one of the reasons why, because, you know, when you see something like that, when you put out that negative energy, and a lot of it was, you know what I mean, was from females, you know what I mean? So I just thought that was crazy, but I just had to put some energy out there and let people know, like, yo, you know what I mean? You know, we're going to do what we got to do for our sons, you know what I mean? And especially in this atmosphere where, you know, it's hectic out here, you know what I mean? And we know the type of energy that we get out here in these streets. So, you know, every chance we get, you know, to let our sons know that we love them, that we here for them, you know what I mean? We're going to do that, you know what I mean? So we're going to get that to them, whether y'all agree with it or not. It really ain't up to y'all. So I just wanted to say that. And so without any further ado, man, I'm going to introduce my panel, and then we're going to get right into the topic. I'm not going to hold y'all no more. So all these brothers, man, I got 4 distinguished brothers tonight, man. All 4 of these brothers are very important to me, man. I look up to these brothers. I follow these brothers, you know what I mean, on all of their social media outlets. I support them. I think I mod on all of their channels, but I really respect and appreciate these brothers, man. They have great content. I have all of their description. I have all of their links to their YouTube channels in the description box. So if I don't know where you've been at, but if you haven't subscribed to all of these brothers, man, you messing up straight up. So I have their links in the description box. Y'all make sure to go over there, man. Subscribe to them. These good brothers, man. They drop good content. You know what I mean? I listen to them all the time. I pick up little pointers from them, you know, here and there, over, you know, from time to time. So these brothers are dope. But I'm gonna introduce them now. We're gonna rock out. So I'm gonna start with Chris, man. This brother right here. He's the youngest up. He's the youngest in charge, man. Out there in Detroit doing his thing. You know what I mean? Young brother in college, man. You know, knocking it out. And you know what I mean? So let me introduce Chris. Chris, what's going on, bro?
What up, though, Frank? What up, though, to the rest of the panel, man? I'm gonna keep it brief as always. I'm honored to be, you know, giving my view from the man cave, you know, as a guest, you know.
That's peace. Next up, I got my man G, man, Gabe. You know what I mean? Ultimate Black Man Radio. Y'all already know what it is. When I first started out, man, I was with Gabe. I'm still with Gabe. You know what I mean? We still a team. You know, my bro just busy right now, putting in work in some other areas, but it's still fam. And so let me shout out my bro Gabe. Gabe, what's up?
Oh man, you already know what time it is, man. So it's a movie when we link up, man. Shout out to you, brother Frank, man. The growth of the channel has been insane. So kudos to you, my man.
Right.
Us brothers, we need that game, man. I told you that this time last year. I said, bro, like the collective needs you, man. So it's really good seeing you put in that work, man. And shout out to the panel, Chris, LARC, Boogie, man. I am the least of thee on this panel, man. I'm just a humble servant. I'm just happy to be here. And y'all already know what it is. Ultimate Black Man Radio. Let's do it.
Right. Next up, man, I got my man Boog, man. You know, this brother right here, you know what I mean, from day one, he's been a big time supporter of the channel. You know how he gets down, man. He just finished up round 2 of the self-improvement summit out here in DC. We had a great time. You know what I mean? The brother asked me to come speak. You know what I mean? I would have came regardless. I don't care if that brother said, look, Frank, I need you to come and pass out napkins, man. I would have did that. You know what I mean? Like, that's how much love and respect I have for this brother and what he's trying to do. You know what I mean? You know, for brothers coming up, man, of all ages. So next up, I got my man C-Book, Don Game Division. What's going on? What's poppin'?
Hey, what's going on, man? How y'all feel?
Good, good. Last but not least, man, I got my man LAR, man. I've been trying to get LAR on for a minute. You know what I mean? Our schedules just could never work out right. But, you know, when I hit him this time and said, hey, man, I need you, you know what I mean, for a panel, come through and speak to the people for me, man. He said, I got you. So much respect to LAR, man. So, LAR, what's going on?
Man, it's all love, respect to the panel. I'm on this Mailbag and these chicken wings. We gonna get man cavish tonight.
Facts. Yeah, man, I just ate, man. I'm watching my I was watching my Tar Heels get punished by Iowa, man. But I'm gonna get back to it after the show. Probably watch the highlights later. But yeah, so we on Man Cave Mail episode 6. So Man Cave Mail, for those who don't know, man, if y'all new, it's just a series that I started where I let, you know, supporters of the channel email me. They'll send me emails and they'll just ask me about, you know, all kind of topics. You know what I mean? And they'll just say, look, you know, if you can, if you don't mind, you know, please speak about it on the channel. You know what I mean? And you know, and just go from there. So once I did that, it just started rolling. I mean, we're on episode 6 right now, probably really at like 10 as far as the emails that I received. I just haven't scheduled them yet. But yeah, so it's been picking up, man. You know what I mean? A lot of people email, a lot of women, actually. The majority of the Man Cave mail I get is from women, man, just wanting to understand the masculine mind, understanding how men think. You know what I mean? And a lot of them, you know, may never have had the opportunity to sit down with a guy. You know, maybe it was a guy they were in a relationship with, or maybe their father wasn't there, whatever. But a lot of them didn't really have the opportunity to kind of sit down with a man or men and just kind of get some honest answers about some things that they always had questions about. So that's kind of usually what I get on the Man Cave mail. So I'm going to read this letter, and then me and the brothers, we're going to hop right on it. We're going to answer the sister's question. We're going to go line for line, precept upon precept, and then we're going to knock this thing out. So she says, dear Frank, love the channel and all the new content you've been coming out with as of late, as well as the consistency in which you've been doing it at. I wanted to write to you today to get your take on the new viral story of the famous pastor Carl Lenz cheating on his wife for 17 years. I was wondering if you had the time, if you would please consider having a brother circle on the topic of men cheating. I would love to see regulars like Gabe, LAR Movement, Chris, C-Bug, and a few other amazing brothers if possible, whose name I can't think of in the moment on the panel. I remember watching this old clip of this show a while back in which a group of men confessed that the women they cheated with on their wives with had less to do with looks and more to do with feeling needed, respected, admired, and wanted. In fact, they all said their mistresses were less attractive than their wives, but reported feelings of emotional attachment to them for those very reasons. They also stated things like the importance of feeling like they were in an escape from their mistresses, or with their mistresses, excuse me. With kids running around the house, work, stress, and school being the norm in their own homes, they stated they were stressed but reported feeling at ease when they were with their lover or their side piece or whatever, due to just the focus being on them and not the kids. The video continues to go on for hours, but pretty much they all stated they didn't want to leave their wives, but felt conflicted about having to cut ties with their lover. Frank, could you and the other men please delve into this more? Here at the Man Cave, I love how the men and women here are friends and are able to have a unique dialogue. Could each man please give their opinion on this matter? I know that if a man wants to cheat, there is nothing a woman could do to stop it from happening. But are there things a woman could do that would make any man stop and think before doing it, or things that make it easier for him to stay faithful? A wise man once told me, only God can keep a man faithful and self-control. And though I definitely agree with that, I think besides choosing a good man, I think it would be wise on any woman to at least tie her camel with learning how to please her guy. Thank you, Frank, and thank you in advance to the men on the table as well. You guys are amazing. All right, so that's all Shorty had. So we're not gonna wait around. We're gonna go around. So I'm gonna ask the brothers this. You know what I mean? You brothers, I mean, I promise the people to the best of my ability that they're gonna get the truth on this channel. They don't necessarily have to get it in a disrespectful way. You know what I mean? All of us, we're very well distinguished out here. We can do what we need to do without doing that. We always have. So we're gonna give it to them how they want it. So let me ask y'all this. Have y'all ever been in a relationship in your life where you cheated on the female that you were with? I'll go first. How about that? Yeah, hell yeah. I've done that. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't always where I'm at today. I didn't always have the same mindset that I have today. So, in my past growing up, you know what I mean? When I was younger, in my wonder years or whatnot, yeah, I've been out there, man. I played the field. I had a main one, and then, I stepped out. So I'm not gonna lie to y'all. You know what I mean? Straight up, I'm not gonna lie to the people and act like I'm a TD Jakes or something. So yes. So I'll go first. Yes, I have cheated before. Y'all got it though. Have y'all ever, been in a situation where you were with a young lady and you did some other things, some extracurricular things?
Yeah, I guess I could take it. Yeah, I definitely have. And it didn't end well at all. I'm not gonna give no detail.
Right.
We'll just say I messed with a friend like an idiot, and it just ended very bad. So that was like my learning lesson. Like the first time I did it, I didn't get away with it at all. So I was like, bet, first time for everything, last time for everything. I learned my lesson very quickly. I said, I don't have the time to play these kind of games and hurt myself and hurt my own time like this no more.
All right. So the question was, have we ever cheated? Right?
Yeah.
My answer is yes. I've definitely cheated. And I mean, I never got caught up or anything. Like, she still doesn't know I did it, but the reason I did it, I felt like, I was young at the time, and I felt like I wasn't getting like enough attention.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I felt like, she was busy, I was busy, but I would always try to make time with her and for her. She would be like, "No, I can't right now," and "I'm so sorry." And she tried to make up for it in other ways, but I just wanted some quality time. You know what I'm saying? And I just never got it. So I started looking elsewhere, and I found it. And me and old girl, we kicked it for a little minute, but my conscience was eating me up on the inside. So I ended up just kind of letting it go, man, because it does eat at you, man. Like, on some real talk, it really will eat at your conscience, because you have to think there's another person involved,
Right.
and you're thinking about their emotional well-being, physical well-being, because things could happen, and people are crazy out here these days. You know what I'm saying? Like, the side chick might be catching feelings, and she might be feeling frisky and want to throw hands on the main girl, and the main girl might find out and she want to throw hands. Or we just had an incident where, I think, what's that chick's name, Anne Marie or something like that, caught her dude cheating and shot him in the head. So it's when you start thinking about stuff like that, you're like, you know what? It's better to just walk away from these situations than to just stay there and, kind of play the field. So that's my whole story on it. I probably wouldn't do it again. It takes too much work, because women like attention, even side pieces, man. Side pieces like a lot of attention. women in general just like attention. So, but yeah.
LAR, what you got?
My answer is no, actually. I've been the side dude knowingly and unknowingly, but I never actually cheated. I got a thing where if I feel like I gotta move on to be with somebody else, I just end it. You know, and for me that's work because it causes less strife. So I just kept doing it. All my friends who got caught, their stories didn't end too well. So I was like, I'm not even gonna go down that road.
What's up, Book?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I've cheated. We talking about something so long ago, but probably was just just immaturity. I'll just keep it at that. So yeah, man, I had my run with it. Yeah.
Okay. So I think all of us who admitted to and talked about situations where we did do it, we kind of already broke down why we did it. You know what I mean? I heard immaturity. You know what I mean? I heard, lack of attention, all of that good stuff. And so for the ladies, I think, I think the sister who sent this email was kind of, just had a mindset of wanted to know, like, look, maybe she had got cheated on, or maybe, women get cheated on. And sometimes when it falls out, there's a lot of anger, frustration, and, there's really no talking. You know what I mean? It's like, you did this, you did that, just get out, pack your stuff up, whatever. Or I'm gonna pack my stuff up and leave, whatever. And there's really no dialogue after that. I mean, for some people, the dialogue for what? So this right here, I think is, for all the ladies, for all the ladies out there who ever wondered, like, why did he do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, once she calmed down and, once she got past the, the angry part, the angry phase, and she just sat there and said, yo, I just want to know why he did it. You know what I mean? Or for women out there who look back over their life and they say, look, I've been with 6 dudes. I've been in 6 relationships my adult life, and every last one of them cheated on me. Every last one of them ended with me being cheated on. You know what I'm saying? So maybe she's looking at herself, or women look at themselves at a certain point and say, okay, look, what is it? You know what I mean? Is it something I'm doing? You know what I'm saying? Or what? I'm not really sure. You know what I'm saying? But just to answer the sister's question too, is there anything, is there anything in your mind that you think could make a man stay? Like if he, what makes a man stay? Let me ask you that. I know we've all, as men, been in situations where we could have stepped out, where we could have done things where there were women around who said, I know you're in a situation, but you know what I'm saying? I'm cool with that. I don't mind being on the side or whatever. What made you, or what makes a man, in your opinion, say, you know what? I see that situation right there. I know I could go over there and slide in and do that, but I'm just not going to. It's not worth it to me. What kind of process did you go through in situations like that? Because I know we've all been there before.
A big thing with me is when she stays on her P's and Q's. What I mean by that is a lot of people, when they get in relationships, they start getting too comfortable. And so they start lacking on what they're doing. They're not waking up in the morning and, she not getting pretty like she was when you first met her. She not doing herself like she was when you first met her and first got with her. Them first 3, 4, 5 months you always together. Now it's a year or two later. She ain't really doing that no more. That's a big thing with me. When I know she's still putting in work to look pretty, look cute for me. You understand what I'm saying? That's always going to be a thing that's in the back of my head. It's like, damn, she still stayed on top of her shit. Well, excuse me. She still stayed on top of her stuff, to look good for me. Not just for me, of course. We all got lives. We got to look good in life, but she could have easily fell off because that's what most people do. They get comfortable. So that's a big thing with me, is just staying on top of what you was already doing.
What's up, G?
So y'all know me, man. My favorite word, man, cooperation. So I have dealt with my fair share of masculine women. I can be honest about that. This is why I took so to Nicole's movement when she started her thing, because when she first started, I was dealing with chicks that were so dominant. And even to this day, the last relationship I was in, the chick was real dominant, and she would try and like dominate and compete. She wouldn't cooperate. I just had to let that go. So my thing is, what makes me stay is when a woman, and you know, everyone hates that submit word and everyone hates the cooperation word, but when she just can align herself with my plan and my purpose for us as a collective, that makes me stay. If she can um you know, cooperate and fall in line, but still be an individual. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what makes me stay. That's being a team player is really important to me. We have so many women today that don't know how to align themselves with their man's purpose and with his plan. And so when a woman does that for me, that makes me stay. I really like that. That's I'm uncompromising on cooperate. The first sign I see of a chick trying to compete, man, have you ever dated a woman? Everything you do, she tries to compete with you. I have. That shit's draining, and it ain't good for your health. Trust me, I know. You end up having migraines, and your chest start hurting, and it's a mess because you're always. It's like you have to compete against the world all day. You have to compete against, other guys, white supremacy. I mean, there's so much out there that you have to compete and go against. When you come home, the last thing you want to do is to have to compete with your lady. And that happens in a lot of relationships. So cooperation is the biggest thing for me. If she can cooperate and push and fall in line with our plans um and the purpose that I see for us, I'm in there like swimwear. So.
Hmm. I'm gonna say it like this. If LAR book, did I have anything?
You got it on me, Bug. For me,
Yeah, you go ahead.
For me, it's one of those situations where we got to be able to have adult conversations and have a sense of humor. You know, you can't if there's no fun, if there's no honest conversation about what's going on, then normally the relationship is going to end because nobody wants to be with an avatar. So I mean, it sounds good in the beginning to be with an avatar, but it ain't. You know, you need to be with a real person, and y'all actually got to get along together. So for me, that's what it is.
Right. Let me I'll say this too, man. I think a lot of brothers who do cheat, because let me say this, I don't think every brother out here is running around reckless. I don't believe that for a second. I know that, I live it. You know what I mean? I know what time it is with that. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of brothers who are engaged in that type of behavior, they do so because they're just afraid of being honest. And like my man Chris said, and one of the other brothers said, it's like over time, things change in a relationship. You know what I mean? I've told y'all before, I've been married 14 years. And a lot of times, when I see married couples in situations like mine where they've been together for a long time, things tend to get stale. You know what I mean? Things tend to get routine. And a lot of times, guys are just not willing to be honest and tell the truth and just say, look, I'm not really happy right now. You know what I mean? I don't really like the way things are going. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to watch all these shows growing up, and you watch these little talk shows or whatever, and you see these women like when they found out their guy was cheating, they'd come out there and they would talk about how I did everything for him. You know what I mean? I cooked for him, I cleaned for him, I gave him sex when he wanted it. You know what I'm saying? I did all these things, and I always would sit there and think about, like I know if this dude was up here on this show, you know what I mean, or if he had the opportunity to tell the truth, he'd be like, no, you really didn't. You know what I'm saying? So what I want ladies to understand too, it doesn't necessarily justify that type of behavior. But what it does do is it says, look, you want to make sure that your perception of what you think you're doing in a relationship matches the reality of what you're doing in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times those things aren't necessarily the same. You know what I mean? Because a dude, most guys, like I said, they don't have the confidence to come out and tell you the truth. Like some dudes would rather just sleep with somebody else instead of telling you that your sex ain't good. You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to convince you that, look, your sex is not as good as you think it is. You know what I'm saying? And I've been trying to low key give it to you in a certain way, give it to you in a way where I felt like you could understand it, but you just never, you never grasped it. You know what I mean? You never took heed to it or took a hold to it. You know what I'm saying? And so you just always had in your mind that you do everything right, that you're doing everything to the standard that I want. And you know what I mean? And that's not necessarily the case. So a lot of these cats, instead of just telling you the truth about yourself, maybe they feel like they can't. Maybe they feel like, you guys have arguments and disagreements about things that are small, you know what I mean, that are minuscule compared to this. So if he came at you real and was like, you know what I mean, if he came at you real and said, look, this is what's going on and I'm not happy, you know what I'm saying, that you would get upset with that. It'd be an argument, whatever. You wouldn't really want to focus on, listening to him and trying to take heed of what he's saying. So instead of going through all of that, he'll just slide off. And I see Jamie in the chat on Facebook. That's absolutely true. You know what I mean? Dudes, I want to tell the ladies this too, because on the flip side of that, a lot of us cheat because we can. The opportunity is there. You know what I mean? And a lot of us are just not, sexually disciplined in a way to be able to say, nah, like I see that over there. You know what I mean? She does look good, but it's not really worth it at the end of the day. You know what I mean? I got a team of brothers that I hang with. We're all married and we talk about, like, we every Thursday or every other Thursday we get up for cigars and we talk about stuff like that. And it's like, yo, we've all been propositioned before. We've all been in situations where we could have went and did something. You know what I mean? Where we knew she was with it. This girl on the side over here, she was with it. But just that look of having to think about what it would look and feel like to tell your wife or to tell your children and to explain to them why daddy not, why daddy don't live, why daddy doesn't sleep in the master bedroom anymore. You know what I mean? Or why daddy don't sleep in the house no more. You know what I'm saying? Or trying to explain that to them and having to look in their face and understand that you're not there. You can't, come over there and comfort them, when it's thundering outside and they scared because you did something and you know what I mean? And now you don't live with, in the house no more. You know what I'm saying? So just the thought of that is like, yo, you know what? Regardless of how crazy that situation might be over there, I just can't do it. You know what I mean? I just can't. But so let me see what else I got. So I kind of, let me see what I got. Do y'all think, and just in your personal opinion, do you think men can change? Like if you had a homie, or you knew somebody that was just like a serial cheater, you know what I mean? Dude was just running around reckless, throwing the meat everywhere. You know what I mean? Do you believe that somebody who lived a life like that could turn it around? You know what I mean? If your daughter came home with a guy and, you talking to him or whatever, or you finding out information about him and you find out like, okay, this cat is like a habitual cheater. Everybody he been with, he done cheated on. You know what I mean? But he's coming at you and it's like, yo, I'm different now. I'm in a different place. I'm in a different space. Do you think a man can go from, is going from being a cheater to being a man who can be committed and be, have some integrity about him? Is that possible? Or do you think, what that common adage is that, once somebody's a cheater, they always a cheater? And anybody can go for it.
I believe they can. For example, I have a big homie. He's 29 years old, and he was, just reckless with it for most of his life. You know what I'm saying? He would have girls and then just cheat on them with like no shame. Like I'm saying, no shame. Like this dude was just cool with being irresponsible with the meat. You know what I'm saying? But he just had a daughter a year ago with a chick who he's still with, and he said he planning on marrying her, so I'm happy for him. I hope they end up doing that. But he said that the cheating and being irresponsible, it wasn't just to be irresponsible and just to cheat. It was rooted in deeper problems.
Right.
Once he got those problems figured out, once he got a lot of those issues figured out and those kinks ironed out. And then he also met a woman who he actually really loved and cared for. And then now they have a daughter. So he has something to be responsible for. It changed his outlook on life. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't because he wasn't, like I said, he wasn't just cheating to be cheating. He said he was cheating because he had problems that were internal that he just didn't know how to deal with. You know, instead of going to drugs or alcohol, it was like he was going out and having sex. You know, it was the same thing like that. Right. And so I think anybody can definitely be a reformed, you know, once cheater. You feel me?
Yeah, real good points there, Chris. I agree. I feel like a man can be reformed. You know, you have your player stage that most men go through, but some men go through an extended player phase, and what ends up happening is, like Chris said, you have a lot of deep-rooted issues. Like you have men that cheat that are used to seeing their mom be promiscuous or their dad be promiscuous, so they think that's just the thing to do. Or you have men that have been cheated on, and it just unleashes the beast in them, and they just go on this rampage of just breaking girls' hearts, you know, girl after girl. And once men usually become really reflective. There's something that Chris said, his big homie's 29. And now I'm no Steve Harvey fan by any stretch of the imagination, but one thing he said he was spot on about, and she said that when men turn 30, they become reflective, and they start to kind of look over their life, and they start to make really important life changes. And so a lot of men, if they've been players or they've been habitual cheaters, once a man turns 30, 35 years old, he begins to have that, those reflective moments. I've definitely been there myself. And it's a process. So, this is why I'm real big on Black men and mental health and getting to the root of those issues. I've had a psychotherapist on my channel to talk about things like that. And it can be an outlet, like Chris said, how some men turn to alcohol or cigarettes or drugs. Some men turn to sex as an outlet. So, and real quick, on the flip side of that, a lot of dudes, like, I did the video on what's his name, the other pastor that cheated, John Gray.
Right.
And when I looked up this Carl Lentz guy, because this is the guy she kind of asked about, this man's been married kind of the same amount of time as John Gray, 17 years. So he was married really young. He's 42, so he's in his prime. He was a pastor at one of the largest churches on the planet. Hillsong is huge. That is a very big church. And what happens is a lot of these dudes, if they're cheating, they don't hit their stride until later in life. So when you have, even if you're in the church, when you gain access to certain levels of success, your doors of opportunity with certain women open up. So this guy may have been overlooked by these women, these particular kind of women, when he was 23, 24, 25 years old when he got married. But now he's a pastor at one of the largest churches on the globe. Now all of a sudden he's getting all this attention from different kinds of women. I mean, this man was the pastor to Justin Bieber. So just imagine the kind of women that were throwing themselves to him. You know what I'm saying? So that's another reason men may cheat. They may have never gone through that player stage when they were younger, or they may have never experienced different kinds of women, and they just kind of want to get out there and sow their oats. Not saying it's the right thing, but it is something that happens. So that's all I got to say. I'll go on past the mic. I'll be rambling all night about something like that, but yeah, that's just kind of my thoughts on
that. Yeah, what's the question again?
Now I was just asking. Hold on. What was the question? But just do you think a man can change from being, a serial cheater to just somebody who can settle down and be with one woman and be faithful and committed to her? Do you think that can happen?
Oh yeah, like anybody can change. I feel like for the most part, the majority of people can be rehabilitated.
Right.
I don't really see why not. So yeah, I think most men could. I think a lot of men will, given the right set of circumstances. You know what I mean? You know, life would put everybody back on the right track. So yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about that. I feel like most people can be rehabilitated. You know, they just got to go through a little bit.
Yeah, and what you got, LAR?
From my observation, hanging around a bunch of shenanigans, it depends on it. Like Steve Boogie said, everybody could change.
Mm-hmm.
Some people like it, and some people grow out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and some people, like you're talking about with the pastor, some people never been, I guess, popping enough to have the opportunity, so they don't know. So when the opportunity presents itself, you know, I think they're the worst, because it's a brand new world for them, and they might mess up something that they built chasing a brand new world. But most people could change. It's just, I even know the dark side of some people who don't want to change.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I know some guys who look for an excuse to, you know what? She put too much pepper in that chicken. I just can't. Like, I know guys like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so most of the people can't change, but there's some people that's just their thing.
Yeah, I think I think guys could change too. I think the unfortunate thing for them and for women is that, you know, they have to go through a few, you know what I mean, in order to change. And so a lot of times, you know, guys, I know Boog talks about it all the time, and my man Chris, all of you brothers do, because I've heard it on your channels, man. You know, just being sexually disciplined. You know what I mean? And in my personal opinion, somebody like John Gray is worse, like LAR just said. Somebody like John Gray is worse than like a Future or somebody like that. Because, you know, John kind of, you know, the brothers like that, they kind of paint themselves in as a, you know, they paint a picture of themselves where this image is not something that, it's not a Future type image. And they paint this whole image of them being faithful and being married, or wanting that, or wanting marriage, or wanting to be faithful and all of that. And then they're living this life on the side. Because a lot of these brothers, you know, like you guys have alluded to, they can't handle it. You know what I mean? Let me tell you something, like when you get, for a lot of brothers, man, you know, women, you know, validate them, and their woman makes them look better to other women. You know what I'm saying? With a lot of dudes, when they get into a relationship with a good woman, you know what I mean? When they get with the Tonys of the world and the Jamies of the world and the you know, and the Chinas of the world, I see you out there. You know what I'm saying? They, you know, it does something to a guy. You know what I mean? It puts an aura around him. He starts to look better. He starts to act better. He starts to be more confident. You know what I'm saying? He dressed a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? He got a girl with him, and she's like, yo, you know, I've always liked you. I mean, obviously we're here, but you know, your gear ain't always hang right. You know what I'm saying? So let me tailor you up. Let me show you how to, you know, match up certain things, you know, stuff like that. A lot of women can bring steez to a guy, you know, in a relationship. And then when she does that, you know, now he sees all these other women checking for him because he's a new guy, and he's not disciplined enough to be able to handle that. You know what I mean? It's really cheating, you know, and I want the ladies to understand it. It's really it's about the discipline of the guy. Some guys could be in a room, you could have us 5 in a room, or we could all meet up somewhere in some city at the self-improvement summit, and we could hang out. I could say, look, man, I'm gonna take y'all, man, we're gonna celebrate. We in Houston, we're gonna go to a strip club or something. We in Detroit, we in Memphis, we Baltimore, whatever. We in DC, we're gonna go to the stadium, we're gonna just hang out, just the brothers, hang out, have a good time. We're the type of brothers, or you know, or there are brothers out here who could be in a room or situation like that, and it don't faze them. It could be women all over the place, beautiful women, attractive women, and they don't phase them. Like, look, I seen it before. I've been there before. I got a joint at home. I'm cool with it. I'm good with it. I'm more than cool with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm satisfied with it or satisfied by it. So I'm good. You know what I'm saying? And then it's other brothers who could be in that space and they'll break their neck. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not disciplined enough to be able to be. I'm telling you, like, some people could just. I'm the type of guy, I could be in a room. It could be 10 naked women in the room, and I wouldn't. My mindset wouldn't feel like. I just wouldn't feel like that, because I'm like, yo, I mean, I've seen it. They ain't got nothing I haven't seen, and it's something at home waiting on me with something in the oven. And who gonna give me all of that? You know what I'm saying? I could pick my money up off the floor and put it in my pocket. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the way certain brothers are built. It don't really phase them at all. You know what I'm saying? But some of these brothers, when they get made up, like the John Grays of the world, when they get made up and now all of a sudden they're in a position of power, or they appear to be more confident, and they have all these different types of women, around them, calling them, wanting them to come over, whatever. Some of these brothers just cannot handle it. So at the end of the day, I would just say, brothers, man, don't just, the main thing about cheating, I'm gonna say this too. Cheating is not necessarily the sexual act. Cheating is the lying. You ask most women, the women who are listening to this, they'll tell you, for all you brothers who are going to listen to this show later on the playback, the main issue with cheating is that you lie. There are people who are in relationships who the guy sleeps with other women, and it's okay. People swing out here. People have polygamous relationships out here. People have open relationships, open marriages up out here. Look, I'm not saying I'm with all that, but it's happening. There are people who subscribe to those lifestyles. You know what I'm saying? So the actual act of you being with another woman is not necessarily the part that is cheating. The cheating part is the lying. The cheating part is you having this woman thinking that she's the only one. You having her out here looking goofy, thinking that it's just you and her. You know what I mean? Y'all Bonnie and Clyde. Y'all are. It's just you. It's just you and her. Y'all J and B out here. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't. And you got her thinking that you living like that, but you're not. You know what I'm saying? So it's the lying that gets you. A lot of look. I've said it before on this channel. I'll say it again. The majority of women are not going to go for it, but you would be amazed at what some women would be okay with for the guy that she likes. There are women out here every day. Let's just keep it real. Like, I'm not nobody's pastor. Let's keep it real. There are women out here who know that their dude has other women, and they're okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because he never hid it. He's like, yo, this is who I am. This is what I do. I was doing that when I met you. You already know what it is. So I'm not hiding anything from you. I'm not lying to you. I'm keeping it real. And now women out here, if they like you enough, if your money is crazy enough, there are women out here who will say, you know what? I don't necessarily like it. It ain't really what I'm used to, but I go for it because I'm really into this guy. You know what I'm saying? So just be mindful of that too. For all you brothers out here who want to listen to this, you know what I mean? The issue isn't necessarily the act. The issue is you lying. You know what I mean? The issue is you having these women thinking that she's the only one, that, you don't have eyes for nobody else. You know what I'm saying? And then she had to find out on the sneak that, you're doing some things on the low. You know what I'm saying? So, let me see. So, I think, let me do it like this. We talked about that. We talked about that. We talked about that. All right. So, men, I just want the brothers to talk about, different phases in manhood, like the whole phase and what that looks like. You know what I mean? A lot of women don't really understand it. And that's why I wanted to do this show, because it ain't crazy. Like I could have did a show, with a crazier topic or whatever, or a little hit piece or something. But there's so many brothers out here doing that. So a lot of the content that I'm putting out that I really like doing here is kind of laid back, where I just want the brothers to build. And I want, people to see that, and women to see it, to kind of get an understanding of how we think and how we move. So, so the whole phase, yeah, like a lot of guys, ladies have a whole phase, and we're not going to necessarily tell you that we're going through the whole phase when we're with you. You know what I'm saying? We're going, and that's unfortunate for y'all, but that's just something that a lot of us go through as men, but we have to have a phase. We have to live our life or we feel like we have to live our life and figure out what we like, what we don't like, and get all of that negative. Well, I'm not gonna say negative, but just get all of that energy up out of us, so that when we do settle down, we know for sure that this is something that we really want. Because a lot of brothers out here feel like, yo, for the brothers who don't want to get married, who are afraid of marriage and all of that, their mindset is, look, I don't want to be tied down, because who knows? Like, I get with this joint and she's a 7 or 8 and I'm really feeling her. And then what happens later on if a 10 come or a 9 come and she feeling me too? Like, I feel like I missed the boat. I feel like I missed out. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these brothers feel like they have to go through a phase or these stages in life, and bring these women around for the ride. You know what I'm saying? Because they have to get this energy up out of them. So any y'all, man, it doesn't really matter who. If you can just kind of speak to that briefly about, about the whole phase, what it looks like, and how, and maybe, if possible, how a woman could pick up on it. How can a woman know that when she meets a guy, are there ways or signs that a woman can see or look at to say, okay, this brother's really in the whole phase right now. Like he's kind of feeling himself. He's showing some oats a little bit. He looks the part. He's playing the part. But I just feel like, he's not really. He's in that phase where he's just playing the field, and and it is what it is.
So the whole phase for a man, in my opinion, it starts when a guy realizes, or well, because it doesn't happen with every guy, but if and when he realizes he can get sex in abundance, right? So he's like, whoa, like it's like opening a brand new toy, and he's like, whoa, like I can get all of this when I want it, whenever I want it, almost damn near. It's like, bet, now I'm gonna take advantage. So that's when the whole phase starts for a guy. When some guy, let's be real, some guys' whole phases started like 14, 15. Some guys' whole phases don't start till they, turn 27, 28. So that's when the whole phase starts. And I think a big indicator with knowing, or not knowing, but being able to kind of maybe safely assume that a guy's in his whole phase is if he seems like always busy, but he never really talks about what he be doing. Like everything he doing is a secret, but he always busy doing something. You never really know, like, is he on YouTube creating content, or is he running a business? Is he trying to study for some kind of certification? Where is he working? What is he doing? A lot of guys will take up a lot of their time, messing with chicks. And it's not always having sex with chicks. A lot of guys just like to spend time with ladies, but that's part of the whole phase. Is like, you just want to be around ladies a lot because you start getting more of that positive attention from them. And so I think that's a big indicator, is when he just always seems busy, but you never really know what he's doing because he's never really telling you. It's always ambiguous. It's like, I was just out chilling. Oh, where was you at? Oh, I was I was around the corner. I was up the block. I was at the little spot up the street. You know what I'm saying? Everything it's a blurred line between everything and what he doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, Chris hit the nail on the head. The whole phase, I call it a player stage. That I refer to that. I do that to distinguish the two phases from the men and the women, because women go through one too. I call it the whole phase for women, player stage for men, but it's all the same shit, But as Chris said, it's basically when a man comes into himself. He hits that stride, and he just knows, he's just like, I can slay a whole lot of chicks in a short amount of time. And it can have, for some men, it happens at 14, like Chris said. For some men, it happens later in life. I know some men that have gone through a whole phase at 35 years old. So it just all depends. Most men are done with their whole phase when they turn 30. Again, most dudes are going through that reflective stage, and they're starting to focus more on building family and legacy. But again, it just all depends. Some dudes were so nerdy all through high school and college in their early 20s. They don't really go through their whole phase until they come into money and abundance and success. You see this with these cheating pastors or these cheating elected officials. These dudes, were focused on other things when they were young and they weren't getting any female attention. And then when they get married, and then when they start to hit their stride and come into their peak, and all these women giving them their attention, they go through their whole phase while they're married. Tragic, it shouldn't happen, right? Okay, cool. The ways you'll know a man is kind of going through that phase is when he is being elusive overall. So I had a chick hit me up yesterday, and she was like, I just, I want some advice. And sweet girl, beautiful chick too. And she was just telling me that she was dating this guy. She's been dating this guy 6 months, and he has not made it official. And when you're dealing with the guy like that, if he's around and he's smashing, he tagging you, but he won't make things official after about, I'm gonna say 6 weeks. Homeboy's probably going through a player phase. And I told her that. I said, I guarantee you there's another woman or two. It's probably 3, 4, or 5 that he is seeing. That is why he won't commit to you. He's 27. He makes 6 figures. This dude is out here living his best life. And it's been 6 months and he hasn't committed. You just need to charge that to the game. That's usually the biggest sign for me when men won't commit, because a lot of dudes actually don't want to intentionally hurt women or a lot of women. So what they'll do is they won't commit. They'll try and get as much out of you without committing. And usually when a guy will not commit to you, especially after about 4 to 6 weeks, maybe 2 months, then he's still on he got his player shoes on. He out here in the game still. So that's one way of yeah, it was 6 months, Shantina. It was 6 months. I know it sounds, man, listen, Frank knows I get emails like this all the time. I just don't tell y'all about all of them, but I get stuff like this all the time. But that is one of the main, when a man sees something and he likes it, he's going for it full tilt. He want to lock that down as soon as possible because he does not want anyone encroaching on his quote unquote territory and possibly snatching up his quote unquote good thing. So there you go.
So I'll add this to this. If you feel hunted, he in his player phase, there comes a point where, when you're in that phase, you don't have the time to be there like that. I want it, I want it fast, I want it now. You got to, it's like a salesman, you got to close the deal. And if he can't close the deal, he's going to move on to the next hunt. Now he might come back and hunt you another day, but he ain't got all day to be closing the deal with you. So whether it's in a a slick way or just an upfront way, it's gonna happen fast. And if it happens fast and you say no, and he's like, okay, that's cool, and then phone mysteriously rings or buzzes and you gotta go, that's what that is.
Yeah, it's like there's really the main question at the end of the day, that the sister asked on the email, why men cheat and the things that she asked her, or she alluded to with the panel that she saw that video. I do agree with it to a certain degree. When men cheat, when a lot of brothers cheat, it's not always about the female, looking just extravagant. A lot of times dudes, I've seen it where dudes will cheat and, the person they cheated with don't look nowhere near as good as their lady or their wife or whatever. And so she talked about, the brother saying that they get caught up in this schedule, this routine where they feel like, they're not really that important. Where his lady or his wife or whatever is more focused on other things. She got the kids, she got a lot of things going on. It gets routine. I remember when, I can't remember what movie it was with Chris Rock, but he was like, if you ever want to, the beginning of the end of a relationship is when y'all stop having sex. You know what I mean? When you get to that point where you're not really having sex consistently, you know what I mean? And you can sit around one day and just ponder about, you know, your situation, and you say, yo, I can't even remember the last time, you know, we got it in. I can't remember the last time we, you know, we did our thing. And then a lot of times for, you know, that's the beginning of the end. You know what I mean? And so I get it. When you're in these relationships, you got to make sure to just communicate, man. Communicate, be honest with one another. Because you get in these situations, and I live it, man. You know, I have 2 children. I work. You know, I do a lot of different things in the community. You know, I'm a part of a few organizations. I'm on the PTSA board at my kid's school. You know, my wife does a lot of things. So we're constantly and consistently running around doing things, you know, just giving back to our community and things like that. So if you're not careful, you know what I mean? If you're not careful, then you're not making your spouse or your partner a priority. You know what I mean? And then brothers can, instead of, you know, just being honest, like I said, and just coming out and saying, look, you know, things are changing. I feel like it's changing. You know what I mean? You're changing. Instead of doing that, you know, he see that little young joint that been checking for him, or is always nice to him, always give him, you know, extra cream on his macchiato or some shit. I mean, whatever's going on, you know what I'm saying? And so she started to look different now. He starts to pay attention to that. And before you know it, you know what I mean, numbers are exchanged and text messages are exchanged, and then bodily fluids are exchanged. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it happens like that sometimes. I'm not going to condone it. I'm not going to say it's right. And at the end of the day, you know what I mean? I'm not going to justify it either, but I'm just telling you, it does happen. You know what I mean? And a lot of times you get comfortable, man. You know, you get comfortable and you kind of let yourself go, and you know what I mean? And you know, it changes, man. It can really change over time. You know what I'm saying? And so you just got to be at that point where you consistently have that mindset where, like, I'm trying to win this man every day. I'm trying to win her every day. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to do something different, say something different, you know what I mean? Move in a different way where I'm still pursuing. Because I'm here to tell y'all, like, once you get married, once you're in a long relationship, or you know, once you get into a serious relationship, the pursuit doesn't really stop. You know what I'm saying? It's not supposed to stop. Like my wife, the way I look at it is, there's so many different layers to her. There's so many different, you know, she's a kaleidoscope of colors. You know what I'm saying? So there's so many different layers to her. So I can't stop pursuing. I can't stop being a hunter. I gotta hunt. You know what I'm saying? There are different aspects of her. There are different things that I know and understand about her now that I didn't 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 14 years ago. You know what I'm saying? But you still have to have that mindset to pursue. You know what I mean? And not just say, okay, I got her now, or I got him now, or I got the ring now, and you know what I mean? And that's it. You know, I could fall back, I could put on some weight. I don't have to be sexy. I don't have to doll up for him no more because I got him. You know what I'm saying? And again, at the end of the day, like I said, none of that really is condoning what this topic is about. But the lady asked, and if any female was in here asking me, like, if I was, you know, at that point, and they asked me, say, hey, why did you do that? You know, why did you feel the need to do that instead of just, you know, talking to me or whatever? I would tell her the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it happens like that, man. You know what I mean? Don't ever get to a point where you get stagnant and you're not pursuing each other. You know what I mean? Where you're not doing things becoming of a woman. You know what I mean? You still have obligations and responsibilities. And because, you know, the fact that you're supposed to be in love with this person, you know what I mean? That should come naturally. That should come freely. It shouldn't feel like a chore to pleasure your man. You know what I mean? It shouldn't feel like a chore to get up for him. You know what I mean? When he want to take you out, or you know what I mean, or when he wants to, you know, touch you or shower with you or whatever. That shouldn't feel like a chore to you. You know what I mean? Because if it feels like a chore to you, it's going to feel like something way better. You know what I mean? Way more liberal and literal to somebody else. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. So, you know, we all so you still gotta compete. You still gotta compete out here, and don't get to a point or to a degree where you just like, look, I'm finished. You know what I mean? He got on one knee, he proposed to me, we got married. I'm the mother of his kids. You know what I mean? And it is what it is.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah.
just for the record, there are single people who want sex with no strings attached, who prey on people's relationship troubles because they could see it. So for people who think about, the thing about cheating, people can see when your relationship is a little bit shaky and things are not going how they used to. And they look at it as, a way to jump in there. Not necessarily to take the relationship, but to get some free sex, because there are people who just want sex that are single who like being that person, and it's the nobody will ever know type of game. People find out, by the way, but it's a game that's been used since I was a kid. You get what I'm saying? And I've seen it over and over and over again. Somebody looks a little sad, somebody looks a little down, somebody has a bad day. All of a sudden, somebody slowly creeps in there. That old school, but are you happy though? Right. That, so don't you can get played by that person too.
All right, I'm gonna ask y'all one more question, man, and then we'll wrap it up. I know your brothers are very busy. I know my man Boog did a couple shows today. He gets them in and out. So I always wanted to ask this question though, to the fellas. Like that scene in Baby Boy when he went over to his girl's co-worker's house. Did he really cheat though? You know what I'm saying? Did he cheat?
I'm gonna go ahead and tackle this, and then I'm gonna roll out. Good chop up, guys. But a situation like that, my personal opinion, I would say no. But that's just my personal, barometer for these kind of things. You know what I mean? Other people may have something different, but actually, I think if women were thinking sensibly, they would maybe see it the way I see it, because in that moment of heat, the only thing that he could think, well, first of all, he was thinking like how scandalous the broad was. Right. But yet, he still had his lady on his mind, so that's a good thing, because that girl was fine. And a lot of times when you in the heat of battle, when you already got them juices flowing, man, you all gas, no brakes at that point, and that's why, sex is very dangerous, just on the animalistic level, because once you get turned on, it's hard to turn it off. That's why it's just best not to put yourself in these situations, because we are animals at the end of the day, man. I know we're human and everything, but that's one of the strongest urges that a human being can have once they get aroused. I know the Bible talks about that a lot, but in a situation like that, you got a real beautiful woman, and she right there. But, he stopped and he had his little coming to Jesus moment that a lot of men do have. I think any sensible woman would give that man a little mulligan. I ain't saying you got to rub his feet after that, but just understand, like, look at her. Shit. You know what I'm saying? Would you turn out now? You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to think sensibly, and that's what I try to get people to think too. We can think with all our emotions and all of this stuff, but if you just think it sensibly about everything, a situation like that, I would say that the majority of men ain't turning her down, period. Married, not married, relationship, that girl was fine. And she had the ambiance. It was a lot going on. So in a situation like that, I would tell any woman, get off your high horse and understand that, that's a situation where you should be patient with your man and, understand where he's coming from. because you ain't even that fine. No, I'm playing. I wouldn't go that far, but you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you're gonna have to be 100. Like, hold on, do you see this girl? So the best thing I would say is be mature. Don't even put yourself in that situation, because once you hit the gas on that thing, it's hard to hit that brakes in that fast lane once you get aroused, and that's between women and men. It's just a very tough thing to do for anybody. So, but that's just my view on it. You know what I mean? A situation like that, my personal opinion, yeah, it was some things going on, but I would say he didn't cheat overall. But it's a lot of nuance with that I don't really have time to get into, man. But hey, man, y'all take it easy, man. It was a good chop up, man. But that's actually a hell of a question that it needs further examination, because I know women might think one way, but right. At the end of the day, women are not men and men are not women. So, we can't think for each other either, and that's where a lot of people go wrong. You know what I mean? We just two separate human beings, man. So women will never understand when it comes to men. Once we get that sexual urge, actually, it's so strong. It can be dangerous. It's just, it's very animalistic. So, a man in a situation like that with a woman like that, y'all need to lay down. I mean, not lay down. Y'all need to lay off a little bit and understand that y'all don't know what that man body, mind, and damn near his spirit is going through. You know what I mean? Yeah, we can argue about should he have been there. That may be the main argument, but I think his actions once he came into his right mind, I think it was laudable as well. So I think it's a good debate right there. But I'm gonna go ahead and hop off, Frank, man. But y'all take it easy, man. Good job up, brothers.
Take care.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, peace.
Peace.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this too, man. Like a lot of times, ladies, when we get home and and we get with you, you know what I mean, and we doing what we do and we tearing it up, like we beating it up, and you look at us like, like why he doing it like this? Like why are you hitting it like this? He ain't really done nothing like this before. Like this is different. Like he a little bit more passionate, a little animated in it tonight than he was before. I tell you like this: if he came from somewhere, you know what I mean? Like if he came from somewhere, he came home. A lot of times, that could be because he was out there, and it was just some joints around, and he was like, yo, they look good, but I ain't gonna do it. But Lord, when I get home, I'm you know what I'm saying? I'm wearing that thing out, and you know what I mean. And I don't care. You tired? You got to wake up right now, because you know what I mean. It be like that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes. So yeah, if you see that, you know what I mean. Y'all in a relationship, he come home, hanging out with the fellas or just doing something, and he up in there and he doing things he ain't never done before with a certain type of aggression and a certain type of passion he ain't had before or he ain't had in a long time. Them strokes is different. You know what I'm saying? Like like my sister talk about, the strokes is a little different, and they're a little longer, a little deeper, a little more passionate. A lot of that is he was out there and women were getting at him, but he was like, as fine as they are, and as much as I know I can go get it, I'm gonna respect myself on what I got, and I ain't gonna do that. But Lord knows when I get home, you know what I'm saying, I'm wearing that thing out. You know what I'm saying? So if that ever happened to you, you didn't know what happened to him, why he just had a different look in his eye. You know what I'm saying? He had a different level of a passion with him. You know what I mean? A lot of times that was why. Straight up, I'm just gonna break a man law and tell y'all that. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. But yeah, I'm gonna ask the brothers real quick, what they think about that situation, and then we'll wrap it up. So in that scene, in the movie, the hood classic Baby Boy, when he went over his girl's co-worker's house, and you know what I mean, she was all decked out with the lingerie, whatever. You know what I mean? That situation, do you feel like, as a man, do you think he cheated, or do you think, you know what I mean, he got out of there before it got to that level?
In my opinion, he didn't cheat. And my explanation was actually a lot of what Boogie said, and he said it a lot better than I would have said it, so I'm not going to try to reiterate it, but I think that ladies need to understand one of the biggest forms of security that you could have that could come from the man is that he turned down a bad chick. You know what I'm saying? We understand he went to the crib. We understand. First of all, I mean, we all get like he shouldn't have been there. You know, Boog already said that he shouldn't have been there. I know I just wouldn't have went. I just wouldn't have put myself in that kind of situation because that heat is strong. You know, that heat is strong, and you know, we all got two heads, and sometimes that head in that lower region can, you know, just take over our whole body. You know, so that's just a situation you got to stay away from in the first place. But the fact that he was able to say no in that moment, like inside the house, she all decked out looking cold, that's a sign of big discipline. You know what I'm saying? That's big discipline right there.
You think, G?
Man, Frank. So I actually went and looked at that clip. Wow, Boogie was spitting those facts and everything he said. I agree with 100%. But did he cheat? No, he didn't cheat. Definitely shouldn't have been there. But he didn't cheat. Now, if Gabe had been there, hey dog, hey, that's me clapping the cheeks because I wouldn't have had that willpower. I would have been on that thing clapping them like bongo drums. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because, you know, there's only so much temptation a Negro can fight. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. You know, I would have, you know, she was so persistent. I mean, she came with the, you know, the protection, and she had on the lingerie. And, you know, I think him and Yvette at that time were kind of going through it a little bit. Man, I would have been clapping cheeks. But that's neither here nor there. We're thankful that, you know, Tyrese's character, Jody, you know, he had enough willpower. That says a lot about a man, though. Like a bad chick, like Chris just said, a bad chick on him, and she throwing that thing at him, and he's like, you know what, this ain't right, this foul, and he walk out. That says a lot about a man's willpower in his characters. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to him. It wasn't cheating. I think women might disagree with that, but it definitely wasn't cheating. Like, he should be commended for that. So, yeah, Shantina, I'd be in that thing. I ain't gonna lie. Oh man.
So since y'all all agree that he didn't cheat, that fool hit that, man. I remember Baby Boy. I remember he had the girlfriend and the other girl pregnant. He got the abortion, and he got caught at the strip club. Then he was looking at the girl when she was in the parking lot. She was looking at him. Then he winds up over her house, and now he had that surprise look. Like it reminded me of Eddie Murphy and Boomerang when Grace Jones was like, you know, you gonna give me, everybody know you effing everybody, so give it here. He got that look, but his character in that movie, he didn't straighten up until Snoop got killed. So him as his character hit it. His character was messy, man. You know, his character was messy than a mug. And I had to be the odd man out contrarian because I just ain't gonna let it slide that way. His mother gets smashed in his face. He was the homosexual king in that movie. Everybody got it. Tyrese was cheap, man. And getting her to make tacos with the techniques he was using with the other chicks.
Right. Yeah, man. You know, I would say, like, just me on a personal, like I just tell the people, you know, some personal stories. Like, when I decided that I was ready to, you know, settle down, stop playing the field, you know what I mean? I changed a lot of things. And I'm not saying that men have to do what I did, because y'all don't, you know what I mean? And any brother who listening to this, you know, you don't necessarily have to do what I did, but I made certain moves because I knew the type of man that I was, and I knew places that I had been, and I just wanted to be different. You know what I'm saying? So when I first got to a point where I knew my wife was it, like I knew, okay, I'm gonna marry her. She's gonna be the mother of my kids. You know what I mean? We're gonna be the Huxtables. You know what I'm saying? Like, once I got to that point, I changed some stuff up. Like I had the same number for like a decade. You know what I'm saying? I had the same cell for like a decade. So that's like 10 years worth of chicks. You know what I mean? That's 10 years worth of jump offs. You know what I mean? Booty calls, bust downs, whatever you want to call them. You know, that's 10 years of that. That's 10 years of people that might hit me up to be like, yo, come through, and I don't even remember their name. You know what I'm saying? I don't even, like, I might not even put their real name in the phone. That's, 919 big joint, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it was in the phone, you know what I'm saying? But, I got to a point where I said, yo, like, I gotta switch things up. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to, I know that I'm strong and I'm disciplined, but you still don't want to put yourself in positions where, where you have to display that discipline all the time, if you can avoid it. You know what I mean? So some of the things I did was like, yo, I just switched my number up. Like, I'm at a new chapter in my life. You know what I mean? I'm doing something I never done. So, let me reflect that in other ways of my life. And a lot of times where I would hang out at certain places with certain people, the homies, when I got married or when I knew I was going to get married, like like around maybe 2-3 hours before I would have normally left, you know what I mean? If I was still out here doing what I was doing in the street, I just roll early. You know what I mean? Because I know like the office parties, the house parties, the parties on the college campuses or whatever, they get real different after about midnight, 1-2 in the morning. You know what I mean? Things get real different out here. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yo, let me just leave around 11. You know what I'm saying? Around 10:30, 11, you know what I'm saying? Because people get, they get a couple drinks in them and it's late and they ain't trying to go home by themselves. Why don't you take me home? Whatever. And then it happened. And then you end up like Jody over the girl crib. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I started moving different and doing certain things to just make sure that, I didn't put myself in a position, because I don't care how strong you are as a man. You put yourself in literally in that movie, he literally went over there and she put the mouth on the top. You know what I'm saying? Like, she started off, you know what I mean? And I don't know too many brothers that would be like, I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody would have knew, nobody was around, nobody knew where he was at. You know what I'm saying? She already had a mouth on it, you know what I mean? And I don't know how many brothers would have been able to get up and be like, no, thank you. As attractive as she was, and she already, already slobbed on it a little bit, I don't know how many brothers would have been able to get up and walk away. So, you just want to make sure if you're trying to, do certain things, you just want to make sure you don't put yourself in situations where if something like that happens, you're not as confident as you should be in being able to get up out of that. You know what I mean? If you value your relationship and what you're trying to do, you know what I mean? If you're married and stuff like that. But so on that note, man, I'm not gonna hold y'all, man. I'm gonna say farewell right here. I'm gonna let the brothers give brief parting shots. I'm gonna let the brothers talk about whatever they're doing on their channels and social media pages and all that good stuff. Again, it was a pleasure, man, for the brothers to come through. Boog, anytime I hit him, as busy as he is, as many shows as he does, he kicks out. When I hit him, he's always like, I got you. I mean, I might not be able to stay the whole time or whatever, but I'm gonna come through, show you love. And these brothers, here who are here now, man, I'm huge fans of y'all. I want to tell y'all that to your face, that I'm huge fans of your channels, what y'all are doing. I'm always listening to y'all. You know what I mean? When I'm working and when the kids running around, at the playground or whatever, I got y'all in the earbuds, man. Listening and seeing what y'all spitting out. So I appreciate y'all. So I just want to let the brothers get some parting shots, highlight whatever you're doing, and then we're gonna bow out. So let me start with Chris.
Yeah, so once again, thank you. Like I said, when we first started, I'm always happy to be in the man cave. I'm honored to be a part of a group of men that I can have admiration for. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have that growing up. I didn't even like older black men growing up. You know what I'm saying? This is new to me. 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, I never would have thought I'd be on here talking with guys who are, almost double my age. You feel me? So I'm very appreciative of that, and that you invite me to these spaces. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not going to, keep going because I could, but I'm gonna just say, follow me over at Chris Flanoy, subscribe to the channel. I talk about men dealing with women. I talk about issues in Black America. I talk about men and women in Black America. You know what I'm saying? I keep it in that kind of range of content. You know what I'm saying? So subscribe, over to my spot. come kick it with me. You feel me? Peace to everybody in the chat. Peace to the panel. Much love to y'all.
All right. Ellie, what you got? What you got, bro?
First and foremost, thanks for having me. Thank you, everybody on the panel. And shout out to Boogie, even though regardless. Here's the thing, and I said I haven't cheated on somebody in a relationship. I've been around enough cheaters to know this important thing. A true cheater understands the consequences of cheating. And I say that to say this. My older cousin told me a long time ago, get it out your system so you don't get in a relationship and mess it up by going out and being a cheater. If you're willing to go down that road, you got to accept that your partner might cheat on you too. And most cheaters can't handle that. Right. I could cheat, but you can't cheat.
Right.
So at the end of the day, if you go down that cheating road, just know when you lay your head on that pillow, because I used to have to tell this to my closest friends. Once you build that reputation of being out at a certain time, somebody might be in the house at that certain time. So just know while you dipping, somebody else dipping if you keep playing that game. So you got to accept that. If you don't play. But that's it.
All right. Like, last but not least, my man G. What you got, G?
Yo, Frank, man. Thank you for having me on the channel tonight, man. Shout out to the panel. Chris, C Boogie, LAR still moving. LAR moving, still moving, man. It was good seeing you. It's been a minute, man. I'm gonna have to get you on over to Ultimate Black Man here in the coming weeks. But this was a really good topic, man. I hope the ladies were able to soak up the game and take something valuable away from what was said today. I see Khalid and Mrs. V kind of going back and forth in the chat, and Khalid said something that men typically take breaks between relationships. We don't normally hop into a serious relationship or add titles. We tend to play the field first. And I think what was going on was they were talking about why do women move on faster, or they're in a relationship as soon as there's a breakup. Fellas, women move on faster than men. This is a scientific fact. They've actually done studies on this. Men deal with breakups and heartbreak a lot different, and we actually take the heartbreak and breakups a lot harder than women do. You can Google this. They've done studies for years on that. Excuse me. So that is why you see that women will deal with it. They'll take it hard for like a month, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe even 6 weeks. But after that, she's out there, 10 toes down, ready to put her bid in again. That's just how the game goes. So I just wanted to give my 2 cents on that. So don't take that to heart. I had to learn that. Like, you can't take that to heart. Women just move on faster. They usually tend to double back, but that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But again, man, it was a real good conversation, Frank, man. You next level with the topics. I hope everybody learns something from this. As far as what I'm doing over at Ultimate Black Man, I've been kind of taking a break because I've been focusing on my trading. And again, I have to clean up my channel so AdSense can stop playing with a real one's money.
Right.
I'm producing all this content and YouTube running ads on my stuff. But AdSense want to play around, so I actually had an audit on the channel, as I said in another video, and we're just taking time to go through each video and see what can stay up and what can come down. By the time we get through, all the videos gonna be gone. Right. So we'll have to build up. Man, I be going hard on the channel, man. But I got some really good things coming. The Simp Awards are coming up. On Ultimate Black Man Radio. Yes, the annual Simp of the Year Awards. I thought I was gonna have to add Scottie Pippen on the list. But I think he might he might make it. This is why I don't do it till like the last 2 weeks of the year, because these dudes, man, they've been competing. So the simps on the list are Prince Harry, Will Smith, who else? It was Will Smith,
I think you had
Offset.
Yeah, Offset on there. You had August Alsina on there.
And August Alsina. Yeah. So those are the top 4. I got a real interesting. That show gonna be so good. I actually might do a panel on that one. Have Frank on there, Chris LAR. I don't know exactly how I'm gonna do. I think I may do a panel style and then announce the winner. Right now, personally, I think Prince Harry is going to win, but I mean, Will Smith and August definitely made a case. So that is the next show coming on my channel. Like I said, I tried to take a break from this, but you folks, you had folks twerking on furniture and folks shooting folks in the head over. It was so much going on. Y'all just kept pulling me back in the game. I just wanted to rest and chill until 2021. But that's what's going on my channel. Simp of the Year Awards. And then in January 2021, we're going to have a theme for each month of the year. And in January, we're going to focus on self-improvement for men and women. So I actually have guests that are coming on for mental health. We're going to focus on mental health, spiritual health, physical health, and financial health. So each week I'll have a different guest on to discuss that topic, because we're going to get right in January. We're going to lose this weight. We're going to get this money so we can go trick off, so we can stop complaining about these women wanting us to produce, provide. We're going to get it together in January. Okay. So that's what I got going. You can follow me, Ultimate Black Man Radio, here on YouTube. And you can also follow me on Instagram at Ultimate Black Man. And y'all have a good night.
For sure. Next week, I'm going to have Shantina on the House of L. The topic of the show is going to be called the cost of consciousness and the wages of wisdom. And I want to talk about basically what that show is going to be about is just, for people who have wisdom, for people who have knowledge of self, for people who have, ascended in their, spirituality or whatever, what was the cost of that for your life? How has that affected your life? How has that impacted your life as it relates to your relationships, your personal relationships, your family relationships, things like that. I just want to talk to my sister about, because she's very deep, you know what I mean? And so I just want to talk to her about some of the things that she's experienced in her personal life, relationship life, family life, as it relates to just getting knowledge of self and being what people tend to call woke, and how that affects your life, how you date, how you interact with your family, how you get your bread, whatever. So we're going to talk about that. Then the show after that, I'm going to do a show called, I want to do a show for men on understanding your lane, how to find your lane and the value of staying in your lane. You know what I mean? I'm going to go real deep, because a lot of times when we talk about lanes, I see you, Tony. When we talk about lanes on these YouTube channels, a lot of times we just talk about the physical aspect of staying in your lane. Like, you look a certain way, so you need to stay in a lane where people who are attracted to how you look, you stay in that lane. But your lane is way deeper than that. Your lane has, spiritual aspects to it. It has emotional aspects to it. It has metaphysical aspects to it. And it has temperamental aspects to it. Your lane is not just based on how you look and how the person that you want to be with looks. You know what I mean? Y'all can both be very attractive, but does your temperament match? Do you match on a spiritual level, on a metaphysical level, on an emotional level? All these things have to line up in a certain space, in a certain place, for you to have a healthy relationship. So we're going to do that. And man, and me and wifey, man, at the end of the month, man, we're going to Dubai, man. We just locked that up. That trip, we're going to fly out to Dubai. Dubai is wide open right now. You know what I'm saying? And so we're going to fly out there for the week of New Year's, man. Have fun. Family's coming up, like my mother-in-law's coming up, so she's going to watch the babies for us, and we're going to fly to Dubai, hang out for a week, like the week of New Year's, man. Just get our mind right, get some alone time. Then we're going to come right back at it. So that's what View from the Man Cave is going to look like for the rest of this month, for December. Like I said, I have all the links to these brothers' channels in the description box. So if you have not subscribed to C Boogie, the Dom Game Division, C Boogie Productions, if you have not subscribed to LAR Movement, to Ultimate Black Man Radio, or to Chris, the links are right there for you. Stop playing around. Hit them links, subscribe, hit that button so you can be notified of whatever they doing whenever they doing it, man. So on that note, man, y'all be safe. We still in a pandemic. Wash your hands. You know what I mean? Stay 6 feet away from me and mine. You know what I mean? And y'all be safe. Y'all be good, man. On that note, see y'all next time. See y'all next week. One.
Ooh.